Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my first ever cross stitch video. I mean, I've done some unboxings of cross stitch, but I haven't done any where, you know, I've done like a whip and chat kind of thing. I don't know what I'm going to title this. Maybe cross stitch with me. I don't know. That, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Well, you'll already know what I chose for the title because you'll see that before you click on the video. But, so I'm working on this bees and sunflowers. So this is one of the cross stitches that I got from VIP Cross Stitch. And this is the picture here. And, oops, upside down. This is the picture. So it's a sunflower with a bee and some like honeycombs, you know, right in there. So I have worked on this a bit. So I've done a little bit of the sunflower stem. There is still a little bit of green that I haven't done yet on it, but I got tired of looking at green, so now I'm going over here to this honeycomb. As you can see, I've got the yellow thread ready to go. So I'm working right now over, if you look at the pattern here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If you look at the pattern, I'm working on this down here. So we're going to work a little bit on that today. And, you know, full disclosure, I'm not very good with cross stitch. It's been quite a few years since I have, you know, done it, you know, full time or, you know, a lot. So the back of my canvas looks like crap. Definitely not a competition canvas because everything that I've read in history about teaching somebody how to crochet, cross stitch and stuff is that they should look, your back should look, you know, kind of like this section here where it's very straight, and mine is very cluttered all throughout, as you can see. But I figure, you know what, this is a small project, and the more I do it, the better I'll get, because like I said, it's been a very, very long time since I've cross stitched. This canvas is obviously pre-printed. It does have some back stitching on it in the bee and flower, well, pretty much throughout. But I'm not worried about that. Backstitch isn't, it's, you know, more tedious than anything. So, yeah, we're going to work on this. I'm not, like I said, not very good at it. And I am just holding it with my hand because of, it's such a small canvas. To put it in a hoop or something like that would be a little bit more annoying than actually functional. So it takes me a while to find from the back the hole that I need to go into as well. So bear with me on this. I also am holding this a little bit far from me, the way the canvas, or the way my camera is. So it is a little bit farther than what I'd like, but we're gonna make it work, you know. Like I said, it's been a while for me. I guess I could start out, well, first let me start out by saying hi, and I hope that everybody's doing well. We'll start out with that, and then, yeah. I hope you guys like this video. You know, leave a like down below if you do, and let me know if you want to see more of cross-stitching on this channel, and I will see what I can do. Right now, I might only have cross-stitching maybe twice a month, once or twice a month, because like I've said in previous videos that I've talked about cross stitching. This channel is mainly diamond painting, but I will, so you know, the majority of the content on here is going to be diamond painting, but I do want to incorporate other crafts as well, every now and again, right? So this is my first one of this, and yeah, like I said, I hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoy it. I guess I could start out with talking about the first time, like what introduced me to cross stitching, and it's been, wow, decades. So for me to remember, some of my memory might be a little bit out there when it comes to remembering back that far, but I remember when I was roughly I would say 15, 16 years old. I was going through not a nice phase in my life. I had kind of just done like gotten in pretty serious trouble with my dad for my own stupidity. You know, my dad, I feel like, you know, maybe he shouldn't have reacted the way he did, but then again, what I did was very, very dumb. And so at this stage in my life, I'm not upset, you know, with my dad for you know, not necessarily disowning me, but definitely not willing to take care of me anymore, right? So I know that sounds kind of harsh. You know, parents are supposed to take care of you no matter what, that kind of thing, but I personally don't think that way. I think that if you mess up, you have to pay the consequences, right? Whatever it may be. And I don't fault my dad at all for what he did. And he didn't kick me out of the house or anything like that, but he did lay down like the law. And me being, you know, 15, 16 years old, I was just, you know, stupid and was like, nah, I'm not going to listen to you. And so basically, I took off, right? I kind of ran away, so to speak, and, you know, my dad was just kind of like, you know what, if she's going to do it, then, you know, so be it. And, you know, he didn't really look for me or anything like that, which is, you know, I with the situation that it was, I understand it, you know, I'm not mad at it. Anyway, to get off that little portion of it, I had to kind of tell you about that to let you know, give you kind of like a backstory, so to speak. And so with that, I had run away, and I was living in, I had gotten like a little apartment, not really an apartment, but a room, rented a room in Ocean City, Maryland, which is like a beach resort town kind of vacation spot. And I had gotten a little apartment there, and sorry, I'm having trouble finding where I want to go on this. There we go. got in a little room there and was working, and you know, I could have, you know, stayed there and done that and probably been okay. But what I decided to do was hang out with a person that was not very responsible, and so I wound up, just kind of leaving that job and, leaving my responsibilities. And we went and hung out for like a couple of days at her parents' house, her mom's house, I guess it was. And with that, we were there one night, and her mom showed me how to cross stitch. So, at 15, 16 years old, I got shown how to cross stitch a little bit. And I think that's where my journey of crafting actually started, because it was so, learning that at that stage in my life, it was so calming to me that I really felt like I just really felt a connection, so to speak, with cross stitch. And eventually I would teach myself how to crochet and knit, and I have dabbled a little bit in like paper crafts like origami, and I've dabbled in paint by numbers, that kind of thing. I've dabbled in what else have I dabbled in? Rock painting, I think. Just little things here and there, right? But I was really just from that moment on drawn to crafting because it calmed me. It gave me a feeling of purpose, right? If that makes any sense to you guys whatsoever. But it gave me, it made me feel like I had a purpose. And so ever since then, I've always had some sort of crafting outlet in my life. And I really appreciate it. It really does calm my spirit. It calms my mind. And it makes me feel whole, if that makes any sense. So, so I did that, I learned cross stitching, at least just a little bit of it. I never really learned properly. I've just kind of made do with the little bit of knowledge that I've had. And I've always done counted cross stitch before. Never done the printed canvases until recently, until this one, pretty much, the few that I've gotten recently. But I've always done counted cross stitch. And I think that's, one of those things that why it helps, why I was drawn to diamond painting as well, because it's very similar. Diamond painting kind of is kind of like cross stitch, paint by numbers, like all of the things that I was drawn to in one, if that makes sense. And so I really enjoy diamond painting because of that. But cross stitch is always one of those things, like I like thread. I like the way, what do they call that? Thread projects or whatever, like embroidery. Like I wish I knew how to embroider. But there's so many different types of embroidery stitches out there that I don't know if I could do it. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways you can get a look with embroidery. You know, so many different ways you can do a picture. I don't know if I could do it, but I think embroidery is absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, maybe one of these days I can pick that up and try to do it. I'll watch some embroidery videos on YouTube, and it's just amazing what people can do with hand embroidery. I'm also fascinated with people who can hand quilt, because that is also very, it looks very difficult. Even though it's still like simple stitching and stuff like that, it just seems very difficult to keep your lines straight and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? So for now I'll stick with something that's easy. Patterns are very pleasing to me. I like to color in blocks on graph paper, kind of like diamond painting. I'll take colored pencils and stuff, and I will make my own kind of design on graph paper sometimes, because it really it's very soothing to my brain. Very soothing to my brain. So I will do that sometimes. I might as well just go across. It's going to cover it anyway. But yeah, so I thought that, you know, I feel like all crafting stems from somewhere, and that's why I like cross-stitching, because that's what started my journey into all the other crafts. And so I kind of feel like, in a way, this is a little bit like home, you know, home base for me. Alright, we got those. That looks pretty cool, huh? So far, I'm not doing too bad. Not doing too bad at all. I didn't start another needle, but I'm gonna go ahead and tie this off, so to speak. Just pass this through on the back side here to lock the stitches in place so that they don't come out. And since I didn't start a different color needle or different color thread, I can just move to another section that has this, because this is 8, which is that I can come up here and do it, this red cross up here. So I could come up here, and we can start up here with this one. And I always got to make sure, don't pull it all the way through. Right? You don't want to pull it all the way through. Just enough to leave yourself a little bit of an edge. Here, like so. Get that in there. Hold on to that so you can see. And everybody, I think, does the start different. This is the way that I was taught. So this is the way that I've always done it. I do try different ways, but I seem to always revert back to that one there, starting it like that. And I always just watch and tuck it every time in there. So, but I enjoy doing this. I mean, I've had some comments from some of you guys who say that you used to cross stitch, you don't anymore because you're now your eyes or whatever, or your hands aren't working as well as they used to. And I think that's another reason why I wanted to pick it back up, because, you know, at some point I feel like I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. And so I wanted to do some more before it becomes an issue where I can't do it at all anymore. I want to enjoy it, I guess, one last time, so to speak. But it's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. And this is a, what is this, 14 count Ada. So I'm using 2 strands on my yarn thread. I always want to say yarn because I crochet so much, but 2 threads on my needle. And when you say 2 threads, if you don't know with cross stitching, when you get embroidery thread, it is spun as 6 threads, spun together as 6 threads. So what you do is you take 2 out of those 6, separate it from the 6, and that's what you use on your needle when you are cross stitching. And it really does depend on your canvas. 11 count I think uses 3. I could be wrong on that. And then I think like 18 count uses 1 strand. So it really depends on what you're doing. And usually the canvas will tell you how many threads to use, but it is universal. So like if it doesn't tell you on your canvas that it's if it just says that you have a 14 count Ada and it doesn't tell you how many threads to use, you can look it up because it is universal. You see, I struggle finding where my next hole is. Always have. And I think it's because when I go into my canvas, I'm like at an angle. I should be straight up and down, but for some reason I always do it at an angle. But I really enjoy doing this. Oh, it's tough to see from this far. Tough to see. I'm going to go up and do this single one up here first, and then come back down and do the next one. Yep. I'm not talking that much because I am concentrating, but it's also, like I said, so relaxing that, you know, I just get kind of enveloped in this, you know what I mean? Just kind of enveloped. And it really just does, it just calms me. Makes me relax so much. Cut this off. I don't want to go across the blank part of the canvas because I don't want to see the threads. I mean, it's trashy behind where the threads are, fine, but I don't want to go behind the threads or behind where there's no thread. I hope that makes sense. Maybe once I get used to doing this again, I'll talk more on camera. But as for right now, I'm still kind of concentrating a lot on it. I have that one single one there, but I'm not going to go across that, the blank part, because I don't want you to see it behind the canvas when it's completed. So that single one I'll have to do later. Do it at the end, because I'll hide the thread probably under the 3 grouping. And I just pulled the thread out of my needle. And what I was saying by the single one is I have a single one right here that needs to be done, but there's 3 right next to it of a different color, so I will hide that one, the ends underneath that, those 3 there. So I'll probably wind up doing that last. I think this is going to be a really pretty picture when it's done. Very simple. You know, one of those ones, if you wanted to frame it, it would look nice like in a little hallway setting, you know, on one of those, you know, one of those small walls like between like door frames or something like that where you don't have a lot of space. It'd be really cute. Or even like a tabletop frame if you wanted to do something like that. That would be nice too. Oh, I can't see my needle. There we are. We're going to get done, I think, this little section, and we'll call it a day. And then, like, I'm always real worried about splitting threads. Splitting threads means that when you put your needle in the hole of the canvas, you want to be aware that you don't put it in between your 2 threads when you go through the hole, because it does show, and it can, like, your eye can see it and you'll wind up focusing on it, and it makes the picture feel weird. So I try not to split threads when I'm doing this. So sometimes it's unavoidable, and I try to pull the thread out and it doesn't work very well. So there have been times when I've split threads and I couldn't fix it, but I haven't really done that on this one yet, so knock on wood, we're pretty good on not splitting threads on this one. And I don't use a thimble. I never have. They just, thimbles hurt my fingers. I think my fingers are fat. Like, because I've never found a comfortable thimble. And so I don't use those. I did not wax this thread either. I don't have any wax for it. I think I am going to get some though, because I am noticing that this thread does get a little fuzzy after a while. I'm not sure what kind of thread that they used for this, but in this kit, but it's not, unless I'm just like, you know, so new at this that I'm not pulling the thread right, but it does feel like it is getting fuzzy. So I'll need to pick up some wax for future projects, because when you look at the greens that I did, it feels as though it's a little too fuzzy, you know, fuzzier than what it should be. So I will. Oh, there are my spiders back. He's out roaming around. So I'll probably, since he's on the ceiling, I'll probably get my husband to grab him, because I don't think I'll be able to grab him and put him outside. But he likes to hang out right above my head, which kind of freaks me out. So maybe what I'll do, since we're already at 30 minutes, I will cut this video now, and because I don't want the spider to crawl on my head. So I'm going to zoom out and we'll review. So we did a little bit of this yellow here, a little here, and this yellow down here. And I don't know, I think it looks good. What do you guys think? Oops, let's zoom out. What do you guys think? I think it's coming together pretty good. Not too shabby, Stacy, not too shabby. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hit that like button. If you did like it, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think, and stay tuned for more of this, and obviously lots more of diamond painting coming up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It does help me out, and we yeah, we'll get our community growing. Okay, thanks again for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.